On our trip to Auckland, New Zealand, we explored caves filled with glowing worms, ziplined over thick forests on a beautiful island, had dinner inside a rotating tower high above the city, and even stepped into the world of Lord of the Rings. These are the top 5 things you have to do while staying in Auckland, New Zealand. Over the last few months, I've been sharing my favorite things we did in Sydney and Melbourne, and now I'm wrapping up the trip with my top 5 favorite things we did while staying in Auckland, New Zealand. Quick disclaimer, a couple of these aren't technically in Auckland City, but you can easily visit them while staying there, so I'm counting them. My list, my rules. And if you enjoy travel videos like this, consider subscribing. I've got a lot more adventures coming soon. Alright, let's get into it. Number 5 on the list is the Waitomo Glowworm Caves and the Ruakuri Bushwalk in Waitomo, New Zealand, about a 2-hour drive from Auckland. Waitomo is famous for its cave systems formed by underground rivers. There are tons of ways to explore them: blackwater rafting, abseiling, or walking through huge caverns. One of the most popular options is the Waitomo Glowworm Caves boat tour, a roughly 45-minute experience. First, you walk through some impressive caves while guides explain how they were discovered. Then you board a small boat that glides through a dark cave lit by glowworms hanging from the ceiling. This was actually the part I was most excited about, and honestly, it was the one thing on this list that slightly let me down. The glowworms, which are actually gnat larvae, give off a pretty faint glow, and the boat ride doesn't travel through vast caves like I expected. You mostly move back and forth through the same medium-sized chamber. Still cool to see, but if I came back, I'd probably try one of the more adventurous cave experiences like blackwater rafting. Right near the Glowworm Caves is something I enjoyed even more, the Ruakuri Bushwalk. This is a beautiful loop trail about 1.5 miles long that winds through lush forest, across boardwalks, and even through a cave overlooking a river. The trail is paved and very well maintained, so it's even great for casual hikers. If you want a deeper look at the Glowworm Caves and the Ruakuri Bushwalk, I made a full video about the experience, which I'll link below. But the nature around Auckland gets even better, and one of the most beautiful places we visited is coming up later in the list. Number 4, hiking around Auckland. New Zealand is basically paradise if you enjoy hiking. You've got lush green hills, thick forests, volcanic landscapes, and incredible coastal views. And the weather is usually perfect for being outdoors. While staying in Auckland, we did a few great hikes. As I mentioned earlier, the Ruakuri Bushwalk near Waitomo was really fun. On Waiheke Island, which I'll talk about more in a minute, we also did a walk through a dense forest that felt like a tropical jungle. It reminded me of hiking in Hawaii, except a little cooler. Then, on our last evening in Auckland, my sister and I hiked up Mount Gafau, or Mount Eden. It's about 1.5 mile loop that takes you up to one of the best viewpoints in the city. From the top, you can see the Auckland skyline, the harbor, and the surrounding volcanic landscape. It reminded me a little bit of hikes I do in Los Angeles, except not dusty, not brown, and not 95 degrees. For parking, there are a few nearby parking lots, and street parking is also an option. It was pretty busy when we went. There were lots of people enjoying the view and taking photos. If you love hiking, New Zealand absolutely needs to be on your travel list. There are so many great trails you could explore around Auckland. Number 3, dinner at the Sky Tower, Orbit 360. This restaurant came highly recommended by a very well-traveled friend of mine, and I'm really glad we took his advice. The Sky Tower is the tallest man-made structure in New Zealand, standing just over 1,000 feet tall. There are several things you can do there: observation decks, skywalks, sky jumps, but we went for dinner at Orbit 360, a rotating restaurant about 600 feet up the tower. And yes, the entire restaurant spins. Not fast, just a smooth, slow rotation with incredible views of the whole city. While you enjoy your 3-course dinner, the floor turns gradually, so you get constantly changing views of the city, the harbor, and the surrounding landscape. We timed our reservation for sunset, which was absolutely perfect. Watching the sun set and the city lights slowly come on while the restaurant rotated was incredible. The food was fantastic, the wine was great, and it ended up being our favorite restaurant of the whole trip. But the next experience on this list involves something a little more adventurous. Number 2, ziplining on Waiheke Island. Waiheke Island is about a 40-minute ferry ride from downtown Auckland. It has a slightly warmer microclimate than the mainland and is known as New Zealand's Island of Wine, with more than 40 wineries. You can rent a car, hop on local buses, or even explore by e-bike. There are great restaurants, beautiful beaches, and plenty of wineries. But we came for something a little more thrilling. The tour sends you flying over vineyards and lush forests with incredible views of the coast and mainland in the distance. And when I say this adventure is for all ages, I mean it. My 80-year-old grandma did it, and she loved it.
I'm just glad I got to do that.
After the 3 zip lines, you hike about a mile back up through the forest, which actually turned out to be one of the most beautiful walks of the whole trip. It felt like hiking through a tropical jungle. After the zip line, we grabbed lunch at a winery and spent the afternoon relaxing at one of Waiheke's beaches. If you're visiting Auckland, I highly recommend taking a day trip out to Waiheke Island. But the number 1 experience on this list was the reason we wanted to come to New Zealand in the first place. Number 1, Hobbiton. One of the biggest reasons people travel to New Zealand is The Lord of the Rings. The movies were filmed all over the country, and one of the most famous filming locations is Hobbiton, the Shire village where Frodo and Bilbo live. As someone who grew up loving these movies, visiting Hobbiton felt surreal. The set was originally built for the first Lord of the Rings films back in 1999. After filming ended, most of it was removed, but when the Hobbit trilogy was made about 10 years later, the entire village was rebuilt, this time as a permanent set. And thankfully, it was eventually open for visitors. Walking through Hobbiton feels like stepping straight into the movies. There are hobbit holes built into the hillsides, vegetable gardens, laundry hanging on clotheslines, tiny tools scattered everywhere, and smoke coming from chimneys. The attention to detail is incredible. Every corner looks like a hobbit might walk out the door at any moment. One of the coolest filmmaking tricks you learn about on the tour is forced perspective. Some of the hobbit holes are built larger and some smaller, depending on who's meant to stand in front of them. Hobbit actors stand in front of larger doors to appear small, while actors playing wizards and men stand in front of smaller versions to look huge. Out of the different tour options, we chose the evening banquet tour, which includes the regular guided walk through Hobbiton at golden hour. Then, after exploring the village, you head to the Green Dragon Inn for a drink. Amber ale, cider, stout, or non-alcoholic ginger beer. Then the doors open to reveal a massive Hobbit-style feast served family-style at long wooden tables. It's exactly the kind of meal you imagine hobbits having. Hearty food, lots of laughter, and way more dishes than you could possibly finish. After dinner, everyone is given lanterns, and you walk back through Hobbiton at night. Seeing the Shire lit by lantern light was magical. As a lifelong fan of the movies, standing in front of Bag End, the home of Bilbo and Frodo, was one of those travel moments I'll never forget. If you want to see the full experience, I made an entire video about our visit there, which I'll link below. Those are my top 5 favorite things to do while staying in Auckland, New Zealand. Have you ever been? Did these match your experience? Or did I miss something? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for coming along the journey, and I'll see you on the next adventure.